What if I told you that there was a revolution happening in Smash Ultimate's meta? A revolution spearheaded by a low tier, with more top-level representation than characters like Palutena, Cloud, and Pikachu. A revolution led by...
Oh, no way! My god, he's got no jump! He's got no jump!
Isabelle was written off in Ultimate's meta for several years, but has recently seen a resurgence in competitive play. How is Isabelle making upsets on top 50 players? What changed for Isabelle to have multiple top reps in the top 150? What was the cause of the Isabelle revolution? To talk about Isabelle, we have to talk about Villager. Specifically Smash 4 Villager. In Smash 4, Villager's game plan revolved around poking and prodding the opponent with Slingshot and Lloyd Rocket, capitalizing on their mistakes to push them into disadvantageous positions, then punishing them with one of his strong kill moves like Bowling Ball or Tree. Despite being a zoner, he possessed very good close quarters options, like his jab. He also possessed one of the strongest anti-projectile moves in the game, Pocket. This move let him store and release enemy projectiles with a super strong damage multiplier, and was one of the best answers to counter zoning. Overall, Villager played very defensive and was strongest when he was whittling down his opponent over time and surprising him with early stocks thanks to Bowling Ball or down smash.
Oh my god!
He had some notable flaws like his slow tilts and subpar mobility, as well as his kill moves being situational and not applicable in most neutral scenarios, not to mention his horrible grab. But his strengths in neutral and advantage were enough to set him up as a strong character in Smash 4. In the game's first official tier list, he was considered the 11th best character in the game. But by the time of Ultimate's release, he had been on a downswing in terms of reception and perceived viability due to Renai retiring. However, people still knew that he had the potential to be an annoying and powerful zoner. So, when Isabelle was announced for Smash Ultimate and shown to be a semi-clone of Villager, it was kind of up in the air how good she would be. Then the game came out and they both turned out to be pretty shit. Ultimate's faster gameplay and mobility meant that Villager's game plan, focused on camping and edgeguarding, was not as strong and more prone to error. A decrease in jump squat and an increase in jump speed across all characters meant that moves like Slingshot and Lloyd Rocket struggled to pin down opponents the same way that they did in Smash 4. And in a game with such strong punish as Ultimate,
it's like left or right, you're still really Slingshot. Amazing. I mean, great combo potential. Yeah.
Villager's slower style of gameplay can struggle to do enough damage to stay on par with the top tiers.
On that ledge.
He easily gets lapped in percent if he doesn't find early kills, since he does such low damage with his best neutral tools. Villager's mediocre mobility and floaty physics also means that he is even more prone to getting blown up by extended combos and juggles. All of this combines to create a character that struggles to execute an effective game plan, that is also combo food for most of the cast. And this is reflected in the tier list, as Villager has stayed near the bottom for the entirety of Ultimate's lifespan. I bring this all up because the sentiment around Villager was also shared with Isabelle. Looking at early tier lists, Villager and Isabelle are usually placed near each other, so it's fair to make the assumption that those two were considered very similar in game plan, but more importantly, how ineffective they were.
Isabelle.
This character sucks.
It's the case of, why are you playing Isabelle over Villager?
Like, you're just a worse Villager, and it's just so rough for this character.
We're not trying to say Isabelle is literally Villager, but...
Right, she's a worse version of Villager.
This, however, is very, very far from the truth. As mentioned before, a lot of Villager's design is centered around holding space and reacting to bad approaches with Slingshot and Lloyd, while using your strong but situational kill moves to take stocks. Instead of being focused on camping, Isabelle can use her tools to either lock down her opponent from long distances to begin comboing them,
Ashmo, a stock lead? Looking shit?
use her fast close quarters options to rack up fast damage,
Never mind, Cap. Stay patient, that up air is going to kill.
or use her more active ledge trapping options to pin down opponents for kills. Compared to Villager, Isabelle's movement stats were buffed across the board, at the cost of being slightly lighter and having no wall jump. This lends well to her new, aggressive playstyle, but what also lends well to this playstyle is her new moves. Isabelle trades the strong zoning of Lloyd Rocket for Fishing Rod, and the more passive stage control of Timber with Lloyd Trap. She also trades some of Villager's more situational tilts with versions that give her more consistent damage and combos. These changes serve to make her more active while holding center stage, and make her more capable of scrapping and dealing fast damage. For example, Isabelle's up tilt changed from a weird stick twirl to a large disjointed arc that comes out on frame 6 and lasts for 7 frames while covering a large arc above her. This move easily combos into itself or up air. Her jab changed from a series of punches to a single hit of her toy hammer. This jab can be used as a close quarters option out of shield, and also kill confirms into many of her tilts and smash attacks. These two moves allow Isabelle to deal damage and kill consistently, compared to Villager, who can struggle with this sometimes. Lloyd Trap is a much faster and less committal version of Timber, allowing Isabelle to cover the same space that Tree would at the cost of having no axe. But being so much faster gives Isabelle more freedom to place a Lloyd Trap whenever she needs to. She can also follow up on a successful trap with up air or fishing rod. Fishing rod allows Isabelle to set up more pressure on ledge, at the cost of no longer having a slow projectile like Lloyd Rocket. The lack of Lloyd Rocket forces her to be less reactive and play more aggressive with things like her neutral air, approaching slingshots, or up tilts. But most importantly, she still keeps Villager's best defensive moves, pocket and slingshot. So she basically kept the most important Villager moves, got rid of the waste, and replaced them with way better versions. To see how these new tools benefit Isabelle, let's take a look at 2 sets played by Kept, a top 150 Isabelle and Villager co-main. For Villager, dealing with an explosive character like Ken requires a lot of zoning and holding space, even more so than usual. While Lloyd Rocket can be used as a slow projectile to walk behind in certain matchups, here it's used to scout for defensive options and react accordingly with slingshot damage. Kept here is mainly focused on controlling portions of the stage with his long-range options like slingshot and Lloyd Rocket, and opting to run away from Takara and scraps or play defensively, since Villager's only good option in close quarter situations is Nair. And this constant running away leads to Kept playing around the ledge a lot, since he is forced to give up stage whenever Takara approaches. Whenever Kept approaches, it's pretty telegraphed with either a roll or following behind a Lloyd Rocket, and Takara is able to react accordingly. We also see Kept struggle to push Takara off stage and find kills. Since most of Villager's kill moves are dependent on a read of the opponent's movement or on ledge trapping and edge guarding. Comparing this set against Takara to a set with Asimo is night and day. Isabelle has more close quarters options and kill confirms, which allows Kept to play more aggressively whenever he needs to. It's that missing piece that prevented his Villager from ending stocks quickly against Takara. Isabelle is able to control space in the same way that Villager does with Slingshot, but her close quarters options allow her to hold center stage much more effectively, since she isn't forced to run away or roll if she gets trapped in her shield. Her ledge trapping is still very good. Her ledge trapping doesn't outright kill the same way that Villager's does, but he still utilizes Isabelle's fishing rod, Lloyd trap, and dash attack to effectively secure stocks on ledge. In practice, this makes her much more suited to deal with the faster metagame of Smash Ultimate, but it took a while for people to start capitalizing on this, due to her slowly getting buffed over time and generally being unpopular. In the first half of the 2025 season, there were 3 Isabelles in the top 150, all from Japan. Rocky debuted as a globally ranked player in 2025.1, as the 120th best in the world, and in this season he boasts wins over Raru, Asimo, and Rarikusu.
行く空射でいいよこれ一気に流れ取ったかうますぎる
Kept had been the most successful solo Villager main in Ultimate, but had slowly been switching to an Isabelle and Villager co-main. He was ranked number 111 in 2025.1, with wins over Yoshidora, Motsunabe, and Ataru.
Looking for these rolls. Just scout them out over here. Can he get the edge guard? Ooh, it's delayed, but damn!
Ferrara Ramen has been the most successful Isabelle main in Ultimate, ranking as 90th in the world as an Isabelle Game & Watch co-main with wins over Rocky, Mild Na Ho, and Uame.
でも増やしたいといったところ危ないぞさあこの崖空中しろお見事撃墜
After the 2025.1 season, these players would get more good wins on players like Ashimo, Yara, and Snow. And Farabaramen would place second at an A tier at Sumabato SB60, going Game & Watch and Isabelle. We've already looked at a couple of kept sets, and honestly he plays Isabelle much differently than the other two players, so let's look over Farabaramen and Rocky's most notable sets to get a feel for what makes Isabelle so good in the current meta. Fura starts off neutral playing defensive with dash attack off plat and approaching slingshots. But when level 1 gets into his bubble, Fura is able to land with a quick nair and start a combo with a close quarters option. Fura is forced to play defensive here as level 1 has a bomb, but he notices that he's cornered himself jumping off a platform. Fura switches to aggro and is able to get level 1 off stage into a ledge trapping scenario. Level 1 is sent off stage and Lloyd is planted at roll distance. Level 1 tethers the ledge with a bomb, but with ledge roll covered, Fura is able to short hop nair and cover neutral get up and ledge jump. Level 1 could get up attack or drop ledge bomb, but here he's stuck thinking about the Lloyd trap. He ledge jumps which gets caught and Fura is able to complete the edge guard with a soft hit nair. First Fura finds a down air into F tilt, sending level 1 off stage, and almost kills him with the ledge trap. The Lloyd that he planted before forces level 1 to double jump and pull out bomb, which Fura calls out with a double jump air. He places another one of these Lloyds to cover roll and calls out the ledge jump with an up air to take the set. Rocky has been keeping Raru out of center stage by covering his jumps out of shield and rolls. He builds up enough damage to send Raru off stage and end it with an extended edge guarding sequence. Rocky likes to follow up his up air by landing on platform and slingshotting, which allows him to frame trap Raru's air dodge with a nair and tech chase. Later, he catches Raru trying to parry a ledge getup with down air, and gets a soft hit nair to end the stock. Here, Rocky just deals so much damage. He perfectly catches all of Raru's recovery options for 20 seconds straight. He ends the stock by hitting a weak pellet and tethering to stage, forcing Raru to air dodge, and then he kills with an offstage slingshot. Rocky's backed into a corner here and can't make it out with a roll or being aggressive with a forward air, so he opts to play tricky around ledge to force Raru to be more proactive. He gets a jab luck, but he misinputs the smash attack, but he converts that into an edge guard with a 2-frame dash attack. There's a scrap on the ledge that ends with Raru rolling onto a Lloyd trap that Rocky had set up earlier, which leads to a stock. Rocky ends up winning the set through some bullshit, just watch. While Isabelle has proven herself to be a solid mid-tier pick in the current meta, it's interesting to see where she started out and how she had to earn her new reputation on the tier list. Aside from the 3 top players I mentioned here, there are still several Isabelles performing well on the regional level that are helping aid in this Isabelle wave. But it's important to note that this uptick in Isabelle usage isn't exclusive to just her, but many low and mid tiers in Smash Ultimate. In the 2025.1 season, aside from the 3 Isabelles, there were 3 Duck Hunts, 2 Kirby's, and 2 Pichus in the top 150, a Zelda in the top 100, and Banjo-Kazooie specialist Toraguri in the top 50. With top players becoming more and more spec'd to fight the same characters over and over again, this current meta has become the perfect time for low tiers and unusual characters to shake up the meta and cause chaos in tournaments. Leaf getting 5th place with Robin at P tier Umabara SB12. Mylna HL getting 7th at port priority with Donkey Kong. Me Gunner making top 8 in a major for the first time, okay maybe not that one. When the meta starts to settle, it's the perfect time for weird low tiers to be annoying and start making upsets. While the current storyline for Smash Ultimate seems to be more pessimistic with characters like Steve taking over the meta, this low tier revolution is a sign that Smash Ultimate still has a lot of life left in it.